HaWah, 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 HaWah. Hey, that's our new chant, man. It's all the way up. Most Europeans and maybe populations in other parts of the world are descended from no more than a few hundred Africans. Survey says. Back in the book, man, from Khyber Pass to Gran, Kheevira, New Mexico, and Babaquivari, Arizona. Probably my favorite book title of all time. Let's go. By Gene Matlock. There you go. So Europeans descended from a few hundred Africans, new study says. Let's go. Again, we got a Dragon Ball perspective. I always got to, I might have a new wave surfer. Our perspective is that we from here, boss, all right? When they keep talking Quivira to us, right? When they keep talking Quivira, Babaquivari, which is the Kheeber or the Heber or the Hebrew, get the first, just get the drops because we dropping, we moving forward. We're reading this book from cover to cover. I'm zeroing in on this. We touched on it before. We touched on many books before. We'll get back in the Prester John series. Shout out to the tribe. Shout out to Drive Nation. We've been patiently waiting, represent. And man, I'm just so excited about our new website, getting worked. I just want to tell y'all, you know what I mean? But everything's happening. Everything we said was going to happen is happening. Everything I said I'm going to do, I'm doing it. I'm a finisher, you know what I mean? Sometimes I might be slow to start, but doggone it, I'm a finisher, man. When they talk Kheevira, Kheevira, they're just talking about the west coast of the United States that they used to call Anan, right? We got the Prester John investigation. We know that when we're talking Anan, we're also talking Anan. A-N-O-N or A-N-A-N, as in Anan ben David, right? Anan ben David. Right? You start putting in stuff like this in the internet. Okay, so, yeah, because then they start talking about the Carians, right? Right? You see the Carians. The Carians is the Cara, right? The Cara, like the Carolinas or Carolinas, the Carians means black or melanated, dark skin, like swarthy is Kara. In the Turkic language, Kara or Karites, Karaites. The Kara Katai, right? Prester John rolled with the tribe. The tribe was called the Kara Katai. Kara Katai means black Cathay, or the melanated Nagas of Cathay. Cathay means a pure land. Cateo, right? On these ancient maps, we see Cateo. All these, it's all happening. All right. We got India Superior. Look at the Custody map, 1500s, right? We've been digging on this for quite a while. See, they just want to give us small ones now. See, normally I do screen share, you know what I mean? So y'all can see exactly what I'm working on, when I'm working on. But I'm just trying to get a bigger map. Right now they give us these small ones, but this is the one we've been digging on for a minute. The old world map, because America's the old world. But oh boy, when I look around on Yandex, I had to go to Yandex to find a night. This is the biggest and best one I've ever seen. I like this one. It's even clearer than the other ones we've had in the past. This is a 1530 map of the world, the old world. Do you see North America? You see anything called North America? This is 16th century America or the world. I don't see no Africa. Nothing is called what you think is called today. They have reset this place and rewrote everything. You do see Cathay though, right? What they call Cateo over here. right? That's Cathay, Cateo, Cara Katai, Cathay, the Cara, the Cariats, the Quivira, the Carolinas are the Cara. They change the C's to K's, or they change Q's and K's, or they could put a C and confuse everybody. Now you're calling it Chera. You got Chevron, like the gas station, the Chevron is really the Kheebron or the Kheeber or Kheeber, the same dang thing. Hebrew, Kheevira, they turn it to Kheevira, or they'll put a Q on it and make it look like this, right? Just like Chevron, it's just the Kheevron, right? So that's just Hebrew, that's just Hebron. Chevron is Hebron. They're just making fun of us, taking the gas, because you know the dragons is where they're getting this oil from. They're saying the dinosaurs, nah, man. They're taking the blood of dragons, and it's what? It's flammable. It's flammable gas. Don't get me started on this gas business, these pipelines, and all the drag and drop. We're coming back to it. We're just gonna focus our energy for a second. Really for me. Y'all just taking a journey with me. Marcus Andrews, right? Condrop. I had to reset myself. You know, that move out here to Utah took everything out of me. You know what I mean? Like it just took everything. You know, I underestimated the work with 6 children, getting them set up. But I'm so grateful now, man. We got their homeschool set up. They got their, scholarship program, man. The scholarship program. If you want some drop, you can always hit me up, man. 432thedrop@gmail.com. So now we got a good little educational scholarship directly from Utah, right? To homeschool your children, where they just gonna give you, you know what I mean, capital. You could choose your curriculums, man. You could choose your, products, things you need for your children's education. So we got that going on. We got concurrent enrollment going on at the university out here as well for my high school guys. And all this, I had to put all this first. Obviously, we had to get everything settled so that I can be founded to come to you with a smile on my face right now and give you this drop, man. So I'm charging back up. My noggins that flow with me for a long time, like you could feel it. You could feel it. Drops charging up, drops coming. It's just like the stock market. You don't sell your stocks just because it's a little dip. You hold that thing. And one day you Gucci, man. So I love y'all. I appreciate it. Every time I gotta tell y'all that, because I really do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all support in so many ways. I don't even gotta name it or name anybody, because you don't do it for that. Y'all been supporting and giving water to me, my family, for the tribe in so many ways. And it's always been most high over everything. You see the passion, you feel the passion in my heart. You know what I'm saying? You hear it in my voice, and I'm grateful that you recognize me, my purpose, you know what I mean? And that I'm gonna keep going hard to the finish line. Like that's just the nature of who I am. That's who my father was. That's who his father was. Yeah, I can make mistakes, cool, but I'm gonna right those wrongs the best of my ability. I'm gonna ask for forgiveness when I mess up. And I'm gonna be grateful, man, for the ones that, you know what I'm saying, really stick by Naga's side and just, make me the best version of me I could be. You know what I mean? Don't look at me and be like, man, you could do this and you should do that. Like, help me be that thing. Help me be that. You know what I'm saying? I got a few Nagas by my side from day one that have helped me be a better version of myself than that I visualize. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate my Nagas. I appreciate my Khans, my tribe. And no matter what I'm doing, I'm gonna take the moment and get that to y'all and say the water for your support, man. And we're in India Superior, all right? So I'm getting choked up. All right? You don't see no North America. So when I'm popping off, saying, what are you talking about? I'm saying they're saying, what are you talking about? North America. What tribe are you from? I see Cathay. I see Cara Katai. I see the Carolinas right here, right? We know what GE Kincaid put out the Grand Canyon right here. We're just making it fundamental. Yeah, we've been talking the same, points for 10 years straight, but people just now waking up to this, man. Just because you got it 10 years ago, right now it's been refined. We've all been refined through the fire. So we can have a clear way of presenting the information, because it's the real drop. Do you see us changing our position in the last 10 years? Did, did we start on calling on some foreign power and then we had to make an adjustment, or did we call on the creator, the most high from the very beginning, first and only, right? Did we understand after a while that there's a search for David that needs to be had, because it says it in Hosea chapter 3 that you're going to search for the creator and Khan Dawi and King David. But no one's looking, no one's checking for David, but it tells you that you're going to seek David after you get in code and after you get most high over everything, after you become a righteous flock. Now you have unlocked your next level to have an actual righteous shepherd. Someone said, well, HaWah is my king. That's the only king I need. Forget about King David. Hey, Halal HaWah. If that's your position, HaWah, and you don't want to look for your shepherd, cool. Like, there's no way you're gonna go wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Search for the creator and shut everything else off and keep the code. That's a great position to be in, right? We're talking about those with eyes to see, right? Ears to hear. You hear the call, you hear the cry. You can read Hosea 3 and say we've been a long time without a king. It didn't say you're gonna be forever without the king, your king. Ezekiel 37 doesn't say you're going to have one shepherd and that's just going to be, you know what I'm saying, your most high over everything. Your most high over everything anointed a shepherd in place forever. That's what we are. That's what we are reading. This is what we're presenting. That there's a shepherd. A king is an English term, right? David never said, I'm king. David is a shepherd. He's a shepherd boy. He was raised as a shepherd, anointed directly from the creator. What other king has been anointed directly with the oil from the creator that literally leaped out of the jar, you know what I'm saying, of the vessel and anointed David, you know what I'm saying? So Psalms 83 says the covenant's always going to be with the house of David. You understand? This is all we're talking about, is remembering our ancestors, remembering our ancestor, our heritage. By forgetting David, you're forgetting your heritage, man. Yes, we are creator first. Yes, we only worship the creator. We don't worship no dragon. We don't worship no David. We can talk dragons because a seraphim in Isaiah chapter 6 has 6 wings. Psalms 18 has the creator seemingly taking a form of a dragon with fire out of his fire out of his mouth and smoke out of his nostrils, flying on the wings of the wind. When he hears David with his ears, it says, with his ears. You read Psalms 18 and get back to me so we could talk that when we are in order, right? That there ain't no power above our power, that there's most high over everything. That gives us the right to investigate King David, to investigate why King David is mentioned in the Ethiopian Chronicles or the Russian Chronicles, the Georgian, yada, yada, the Genghis Khan, Mongolian flow. Genghis Khan went to war with this Prester, priest, king. Prester means priest. John means king. Prester John, priest, king. These people cried out for a king when they were giving King Saul. So those that come with the, you know, and it's been a few, oh, well, yeah, you know, I don't have no other king but the creator. The creator is your creator, man. But the creator can put a shepherd or a priest king. It's different than a Gentile king, that the people were jealous that the Gentiles had a king. So they cried out for a king. Did they get David when they cried out? No, they got King Saul, and he ruled them like a king. And they realized, you know, this ain't cool. And Saul went off on his own flow, outside of the order, right? So what was the correction? Order was the correction. The anointing of David, who carries the same soul force as Adam from the very beginning. And this is what we also been reading, you know what I mean? Just connecting just the soul force that comes from Adam, you know, to the Moseses and to the Davids. You know, it's the same shepherd energy. It's the same priest king or Prester John function, right? Adam is the first priest king. Adam was given the dominion over the animals and all the lands and all that, right? So, you know, Adam had the same staff that we read in the book of Joshua that was passed on eventually to Moses, who had to pluck it out the garden. So, it's the same staff that gets carried all the way into priest King Prester lineage, all the way up to King David, all the way, this is the same energy, the same soul transfer. Another book we read, man, I gotta get the name of it again. It was talking about 1,000 years were given to Adam, and he chose to give 70 of his years to David when he heard that, this energy was going to be reborn, or his energy, what I'm saying, really. And but I think it was only supposed to last for like 3 days. Like David had a short period where, it's just a transfer of energy. Like that energy was supposed to only touch the earth, like just touch the earth. And Adam said, he volunteered 70 of his years. And the Most High told Adam, well, because you volunteered that, like I couldn't make you do that. But the fact that you openly are giving that, I'm going to grant that. And he gave David 70 of his years. We'll get that book again. Yosef the Real, you know what I'm talking about. I think Yosef dropped this. I got the PDF, I got 1,000 of these. But yeah, just reading that is more validation and confirmation of who David is. It's not just some randomness. It's the same Melchizedek flow. It's the same Prester John, Melchizedek, priest king. So when we talk Prester, we're talking Melchizedek. When we talk Melchizedek, we're talking a forever transfer of energy, a eternal shepherd. You know what I'm saying? That's why they was looking for Prester John for over 500 years, right? I mean, he must have had the fountain of youth. All right, we're talking about that Portugal monument. Y'all remember this monument that they put up at the tip of South Africa for the Portuguese that were searching for Prester John? Let's get it bigger. I mean, is that the depiction of the woolly head Prester? Just chilling, just chilling. Where they put this monument at? I just want to read it with y'all because it says during the 12th and 13th centuries, Prester John was believed to be the ruler of a vast and powerful empire in the interior of Asia. Again, where's Asia? You've already seen the maps with this being called Asia Major right here, just like it's called India Superior. I'm not a cartographer. I didn't make the maps. So we're researching 16th century maps, and it doesn't say no North America. It says India Superior. Some of them say Asia Major, which means that that's Asia Minor or India Inferior, if you want to look at it like that. But I'm saying this is where the superior Khan, the Prester John, was ruling. From the 14th and 16th century, he was believed to be the king of Abyssinia, now Ethiopia. Remember, Abyssinia predates the word Ethiopia. The Greek word Ethiopia, ethos. But Abyssinia, or Habasa, right? Habasa predate that, you know what I mean? So when we talk the abyss, really, who's the abyss, right? Who's the darkness? 1165, a letter supposedly written by Prester John describing his country as a land of natural riches. Sound like America, man. Marvels, peace and justice was given to the Byzantine Emperor and to the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick Barbarossa, which is crazy because the Byzantine Empire was taken out 1 year after the Papal Bull Dum Diversus 1452. The Byzantine Empire was taken out in 1453. Soon as they went to war against the Saracens, right? All you copper-colored tribe of Israel niggas, because remember who was against you. Niggas that look just like you. So they just weren't white folk at war against these colored people. Nah, the people that were our biblical enemies are copper colored just like us, man. It's all a human family, whatever you want to call it, Ham, Shem, all them niggas, man. So it was a tribal war, just like Just like the scripture's been talking about, right? Moab and Canaan and da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's at war. Even the tribes of David were at war. The tribes of Israel were at war with each other. So this white versus black thing is an it's a mind, you know what I mean? Because it tries to put you in this black, white Masonic flow. But we know that white is black and black is white. White, W-I-G-H-T, means demon. Demon. W-I-G-H-T, White Walkers, Game of Thrones. And black in the dictionary means wicked. So black is white demon, black, wicked demon. The point is, they try to put us in the black, white, but we know the people that came against us look like us, man. So we just not trying to divide ourselves and say, oh, but the black people got to stick together. The black people don't exist, the black people. There's never been the black people power, the black people tribe. It's always been tribal war from Cain and Abel. It's never been no black utopia of blackness. It's always been war from the top. And the hijacks, or those that were created in later creations, right? They got in where they fit in and chose to try to rock with and chose who they want to be against, right? So it's been tribal war ever since. It ain't no black-white thing. Not that you don't hold people accountable that are so-called white that have participated in atrocities, but you got to hold our people accountable. We got to hold ourselves accountable for just every day, you know, being out of code and, you know what I'm saying, pointing any type of, guns and any of that stuff towards each other. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that is against our code. The minute we get out of that, it don't matter what happens next, because we broke our covenant. We broke our covenant of peace. You know what I'm saying? We don't make no treaty against each other, but this is what we've been doing. Confederate against each other. Read Psalms 83. Who's confederate against you and me, man? So this is tribal war. They came here for the land, right? They came here for the promised land. Who's promised them? Who's promised your land is the question. Why would they promise your land away, man? You know? And why were they searching for Prester John for 500 years? What I'm telling you is that this is King David. Prester means priest, John means king. And that this happened recently. That the biblical King David happened recently. That they took the timeline and took what happened in the 1200s, 12th century, and pushed it back 1,000 years, sometimes 1,778 years, like the chronographer, Anatoly Fomenko, up to Anatoly Fomenko, man, giving that true chronology, putting together the astronomical elements, the mathematical elements, finding the phantoms and the duplications, so that we can say firmly they shifted time back 333 years, 1,054 years, and 1,778 years, respectively. And, a lot of shifts in between. They took the same king from the 1200s, blasted him back in the past. So by the time we're reading this, knowing that this is India Superior, right? Asia Major, India Superior, right? Oops, my bad. India Superior, right? I didn't write this, but this is where they found you. You see, Cateo is Pure Land, Cathay, Promised Land. But look, it's right over where Prester John would be, right? And of course, before we showed you the maps, like in the British Museum and whatnot, like this one here, with India Superior, and it says Prester John. Doggone it, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I said, you're in Asia Major. So South America is what they're calling America here. Paris or Paris, this is the first Paris, which is Mexico, and Asia Major. And you see Florida, right, boss? So when we're talking about get it back for a stack. Get it back for a stack. Back to this. Pause it, man. Read it, man. I got a few more minutes. You know, sometimes I just go off, start popping off. You know, this triggers me, man. So it's gonna take a while to get through this, but I'm focusing on this book right now. I just think it's a great place for us to be foundational. Know that we're in the old world and connect the Hebrew elements. So when we say we're indigenous Hebrews, somebody told me it was some comment. I don't know where. I forgot where I saw this, but someone said, "Oh man, yeah, Drop Nation. They're leading a new movement called the Indigenous Hebrew Movement." I said the Indigenous Hebrews. All right, man. We are who we are, man. I guess we got a lot of bywords these days. But anyway, when it talks about Asia, that Prester John was believed to be the ruler of a vast and powerful empire in the interior of Asia, right? First sentence. And we bring up Asia, boss. The interior of Asia is what? This is another 1500s map. 16th century map, 1531, Orientis finds map, right? So they're looking for Prester John. You see Prester John right here in America, Cattell, come. Okay. By the way, this is oh who. One of the depictions we found of the priest king. I'm just saying, they're looking for the melanated Naga. Right? In India Superior. Got it? Okay. Also known as Asia. Because when does Asia connect with South America, right? There ain't no North America. For 500 years. And when you look up the Fountain of Youth, even in Wikipedia, it's going to connect you directly with Prester John. And Prester John, in his 1165 letter, said that he and his whole tribe have taken 6 baths in this water, and each time turned back to the age of 32. He said they took 6 baths in the Fountain of Youth, and each time turned back to the age of 32. And they only started looking for the Fountain of Youth in America over the last 500 years. Before it was some India theirs. They're always looking in that India till they come home to this India Superior. And they said, oh, so why did they just start looking for the Fountain of Youth here at the same damn time where they stopped looking for Prester John? Did they stop looking, or did they find the kingdom and said, all right, so that's nothing to see here, boss. Nothing to see in Asia Major, boss. Yeah. Antioch. Antioch. Right. So this India Superior, or Asia Major, is Anion Regnum. Regnum means kingdom. Kingdom of Anan. We got to the Anans. Anan ben David. We looked at that. And even lower here, you see beneath the Anion is the Quivira Regnum. This ain't about India over there colonizing and ruling America, man. Okay, stop it, man. This is about Kheeber. This is about Kheeber, and the Anion flow. And that it's all happening. Anion, again, Anan ben David. Let's go Jewish Encyclopedia. I ain't gonna go too deep because then it's gonna be Prester 165 right now. I told you I'm gonna do 20-minute jobs. I'm already at 29 minutes. My bad. My bad. Nah, I'm just, I can't explain it. I'm just popping off, man. Anan bin David. So my point is that Anan is Anan, the founder of the Chariot. We just talked about the Kara, the Karakatai, the Carolinas, right? They say he's the founder of the Kara, which is why Prester John leads a tribe called the Karakatai or Cathay. My mother's name is Catherine. Catherine is Cathay. Kathy, right? So with a C or a K or a Q, all the above. I ain't gonna go too swift, man, because but now we gotta talk about Judah and the Exilarchs, and all this is happening right here. Once you get all that, and you know that Utah is Judah. Spanish called it Utah with a Y-U-T-A-A or T-A-H, but Utah is Udah, which means high. It means lofty high, righteous. But Anan bin David is known for writing the code. Pause it, man. Read it. And I'll just read this piece and I'm gonna read another paragraph. I told you I'm gonna go paragraph to paragraph in this book, man. That's because it triggers a whole nother kind, you know what I mean? But sometimes I'm gonna do straight up readings, other times maximum pop off, and this is all you can expect. Here it is for the dismount though. His book of laws. Anan was now able to devote himself to the development of his new religion, they want to call it, and its new code. But we know he's just keeping the code. But one thing was essential. It was deviant from traditional Judaism. So what they're calling Judaism ain't what he was on. He was on bringing it back to the old school. So he was anti what they were on as an ism. We ain't no isms, we ain't no issues, man. Y'all can have the isms and the issues. We are Judah. He was bringing it back to Judah in the code of HaWah, the code carried by David. This is Anan bin David, son of David. Anan, son of David. Let's go. For that very reason, okay. For that was the very, what they say, reason d'etre of his new sect and the justification for his release, the fact that the majority of his followers were anti-rabbinical, which means that their rabbis, we weren't messing with that. Same as today. We don't mess with what they are. All their oral, all their Talmud is, we don't mess with that. So they called them anti-rabbinical, also made this course advisable. His Sefer HaMitzvot means books of the precepts, which occupied him for several years and was published 770, must be considered the basis of the newly found Ananite sect. So now they're calling them the Ananites. We're just talking about Anan, or we're just talking about Ania. Now, what was the original name of the Bering Strait? You know, the one that's connecting both Asias, right? Like here. So this connection point, here is the Strait of Ania. And that's a whole nother book called The Mystical Strait of Ania. And this Strait of Ania is the Anan, right? Is the, what they're calling Ananites and all this stuff, is Ania. Ania is deep because, again, they can add a C. Sometimes they add an H, so you have Hanan or CH, Hanan, right? Or with a K, Canaan. And then all this time they've been calling us Canaanites. Remember that forked tongue, that serpent tongue? No, we're not tribes of Canaan via Ham, right? This is the land of Shem. But we are Ananites or Anans, you know what I'm saying? Like those that rocking with Anan bin David, the tribe of David, the tribe of Judah, right here, Utah, Judah, right? Queen Khalifa is Queen Sheba. Sheba means daughter of the oath. All these are titles. So David had his own Bathsheba, right? And then There was a Sheba, that was introduced or came to meet Solomon. So that's another Sheba. Sheba's a title, just like David is a title, just like Prester is a title. All right, all right. We're not going into Prester John. I'm just popping off. It's a simple pop offness we have it right here. So the Ananites. All right, so all right. Okay, I'm gonna leave a nine. I'm gonna leave a nine right there because that's a beautiful story to connect to. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Woo! All right. So we're talking about these Europeans. We know what the European look like. You know what I'm saying? Look like us. But let's see what he has to say. Now that we know that modern Europeans and possibly the other non-Africanoid races are mutants. Damn, I didn't say that, man. Gene Matlock is crazy. I didn't say it. YouTube, don't. I didn't say it. So he says, now that we know that the modern Europeans and other non-Africanoid races or non-Nagas are mutants of just a few hundred Africans, or were created, or we're just talking incubator babies, right? We should now try to ascertain just where the mutation took place. The Hindus claim that they, as well as all the other non-Africanoid races, originated in the frigid northern polar region called Uttara Koru, now called Siberia. Throw this book, man, because a lot of people be when they talk about these so-called natives or those claiming, this are titles, right? And they have this Siberian connection culturally, you know what I mean? So there's always like, man, they come from Siberia, man. And now he's talking about they're claiming that they are in Siberia. And these are the same ones he's trying to claim are these Hindus, which are connected with these natives. So he's basically saying these natives that they're calling natives, modern natives, I guess you could say, are Siberians. I mean, that's basically called them really. I don't have to say. I don't have to say much. I don't have to say much. But it says in the back, Gene Matlock, he has already succeeded in arranging meetings between some Indian tribes interested Hindu representatives. So he's trying to connect the Hindu with modern natives because the OGs is not refutable. You know what I'm saying? That these so-called black people were already here, man. Are the copper color races found here? And we don't have to talk about Native American nothing. We're from India Superior, you know what I'm saying? We're connected with the land of Mu and the Pacific and all this flow. Hawaii, all this, right? This is our birthplace, man. This is the old world. And there's a great book by, what was the Mason dude? Caramel, no. The Mason guy who wrote the book Oriental Masonry, I believe. But he was writing how the lands here are higher than other continents. So that's irrefutable proof that civilization first started here. If anybody was colonizing, they were coming from America because not all the lands popped out of the primordial waters first. Not all the earth is on one flat plane. I mean, we are on a flat plane. We're on a flat plane, but we're not all on the same level of the flat plane. You know what I'm saying? And so when the flood waters receded on the flat plane, certain mountain peaks and certain lands popped up first. You know what I mean? When you research how high these things are compared to others, and from his research, he said that civilization and colonization happened from here, not to here. This is not a new world. This is a very, very ancient civilization. So he said that they came from the frigid northern polar region called Uttara, Uttara, Kura, Kuru, huh? Now called Siberia, afterwards migrating to the Indian subcontinent and other parts of the world. Uttara equals most northernly. Kura equals northern nation. Another Uttara Kura also exists in partition northern India because these ancient fathers of India and the rest of the non-Africanoid world typically named their new homes after their previous ones, just as the British forefathers of the United States. Forefathers is crazy. Of the United States named the eastern seaboard New England. However, when a group of people decide to move to new homes, not all of them want to leave, most stay behind. Therefore, if these Hindu myths are true, we should be able to find tribal troops in Siberia who have similar names and DNA with the Indian descendants of these ancient immigrants. I'll stop right there. That's it. That's all I got. So you could reverse engineer through Siberia to get the origin of the modern Indian and India inferior, or the modern India, as well as the modern Native Americans, should all trace back to Siberia or Utara Kuru. Cool. I'll leave it right there. I think that's a body bag for the illusion. And if you can't find our roots there, the non-Africanoids, maybe our roots are planted all across the earth plane, man. Body bag for the illusion. I love y'all. Stay up, suit up, choose up, and keep your energy up, your vibration high. It feels good being out here in Utah. I'm on the radio broadcasting, you know what I'm saying, straight from the local university out here, man. Southern Utah University. And it's been about a month now that we've been playing 432 music, twice a strong. They say week, we say strong. Twice a strong for hours. We're just bumping tribal music, soulful classics, you know what I'm saying, new slaps, everything in 432 like we do and like we're coming back to on the 432 The Drop Radio. That's where I can really pop off at, Right now I'm on the FCC time. I can't pop off and talk like, I can't go crazy. Drop can't go crazy. I'm just trying to let the music and the frequency do its thing. I don't want to, jam that up. So I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna give some cool little drops here and there. I might give some health drop, some science drop, some technology drop, some weather drop. But mostly it's all about the music, broadcasting on 91.1, Thunder 91.1. And again, I'll give you guys another link so you can listen up on Sundays from 3 to 6 Mountain Time. So whatever you're on, I think Utah is an hour ahead of California. So, you figure it out. I think we're 2 hours behind New York. Yeah, I mean, so 3 to 6 and then 3 to 5 on Tuesdays, man. But hey, it just feels good to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like right from the campus, and the students are walking by jamming. Michael Jackson bumping, Stevie Wonder bumping. You know what I mean? So we're doing it and we're bumping it in 432, man. And I told y'all, man, like when Ziggy Marley's band came through here, and I got to talk to Pablo, his bass guitarist, who's gonna do a great interview with us real soon. Shout out to Pablo, man. And he said, yeah, Ziggy Marley's been playing his music in 432, man, or tuning all his instruments to 432 for like the past year. I said, man, let's go, man. We up, man. Ziggy's in 432. And then I saw Ziggy do an interview talking about being in 432. I said, let's go. Cause that's all, if all we talking is frequency and they get the frequency, it's only a matter of time when the whole world is MHOE, most high over everything. I love y'all. Stay up, suit up, choose up. And I'll see y'all in the next one.